else? Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
They're just gonna stay there.
And they're gonna be okay with
Oh, unique hero.
Okay, what's this Hellcurt mean? Who wants to talk about it before we throw it to stage?
Wait, is this gonna be Hellcurt Gold?
No, it's Rome, right?
I mean,
wait, no, gold. It's gold.
I mean, Belly could go EXP.
It's gold. It's gold, Hellcurt.
Well, so Hellcurt burst, and then he can make the map dark. Burst, and then Vision Deny.
Ooh.
We'll see. We'll see.
I love it.
We rarely see it. It's kind of cool.
Reminds me of my old Xbalanque days back in the game. That's very similar, but this game, there's nothing similar to this feeling of under the bright lights, your life on the line. You're playing for hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars if your journey continues, and one team is going to have that key crushed after this. Let's begin game one, SRG versus Geekay eSports, and over your casters, Naisu and Trex.
Thank you so much, Rain Day. I'm here with Naisu on the desk. Just a reminder, this is an elimination match between SRG and Geekay eSports. How are we feeling, Naisu?
And you know what? It's weird to start the day with an elimination match, man, but that's been the course of things for the past couple weeks for all the journeys that we've made it up to this point. And now to think about a Hellcurt being placed in the gold lane. If I haven't been vocal enough about how much I love the meta right now, man, this is why. Because we're seeing even this come to play in an elimination match.
This definitely makes things interesting, and I gotta say, the past couple big upsets that we have seen throughout the past few days have been because of picks like this. Now, the Hellcurt in the gold lane, not something you normally see. A little bit of action in the mid, though. First blood over to Stormy, Naisu.
Wow. All right. Already burning a couple revitalize there to keep him up. But yeah, I was so surprised that was that early on that you're able to get a kill on Shen. A little bit of a misstep.
Yeah, definitely a misstep. Yaga in this gold lane. Back to this Hellcurt, though. Nothing too crazy as far as emblems go across the map. We do have the pull together on Quanok. Overall, though, I'm excited to see how this plays. Are we going to see the Hellcurt roam around quickly? Normally, gold lane doesn't get too much action in the early game, but because of the speed, once he hits level 4 as well, getting the Dark Knight Falls might be able to help Geekay in terms of getting some of these first turtles. He hasn't hit level 4 yet. May be able to get it before this turtle. I'm wondering if SRG is going to want to rush it because they don't want to have to deal with that Dark Knight Falls. Because even when he's on the opposite side of the map, his team can still capitalize from it. So it's something we definitely have to watch out for, especially with the range, with the possible surprise of Shen hitting a Wrath of Dryad, something of that nature. So I'm excited to see how they utilize this pick.
Oh, Eisenberg in the flicker too. Yeah, you're right about that. The utility that a Hellcurt can bring just with, you know, darkening the map with his ultimate, that Dark Knight Falls, is great, but still, I think that's the main thing. Can he get out of the lane? Can he join these fights? It looks like he wants to do exactly that. They're going to force a fight anyway. Beacon already used Shen, able to flicker out for now. Dark Knight Falls comes through. They collapse on Sakai, so able to pick up one. Turtle still for the taking here. So for this, you got the numbers advantage, and there you go. Yaga's making it work. Gets another.
Yaga. Things already turning around for the side of Geekay. Looking good. They take a death early on. But we're already seeing the possibility that Sakai's is going to have to be careful going off on his own, even if it looks like he can secure a kill, because at any point, Dark Knight Falls comes down, Yaga pops up, helps gets the kill. He is an assassin. He's still squishy. And that's what I feel like is going to be the target. You add that up with Stormy as well. We haven't seen Yve work out too well for a lot of teams. I feel like in a lot of drafts it looks nice, but the fact that there's things like Lings now being highly popularized, some of these assassin picks who can jump onto you, and the lack of movement from the Yve once you drop that ult, you are just a sitting duck. So Stormy, the big win condition for SRG, I think, is going to be positioning and timing on that RWM.
Yep.
And the same thing is going to go to Geekay with this Dark Knight Falls and things of that nature.
Quanok already using the beacon. Actually going to flicker forward. Dark Knight Falls. They want to collapse on Stormy, as you were mentioning it. Tempest Blade's already going to be used. Yeah, trapped into a real-world manipulation, though, too, on the back foot. Geekay has to disengage. They wanted to go for that. Now multiple members are low, and here comes the follow-through. A spear from Innocent will be the find a double. He does it again in the mid lane.
He just never misses. That's the reality situation with Innocent. And I want to go back to what I was saying with Stormy. That last RWM was huge, but Cram.
Oh, Cram. Okay. You know, this is why the Paquito's so deadly. Couple combos, and you're half health or less. Yaga's going to get spotted out. He does get stunned here, but he's fine for now. Yes, back to what you were saying, Trex. You know, I think fighting around the real-world manipulation is key. We just saw it in the hands of Stormy there in that fight, especially because they know that GK's idea behind this draft is to just kind of go in, you know, go in, make it happen, get a kill if they can, but your real-world manipulation is your biggest counterpunch to that. Not only this, but you can slow them down with a glorious pathway from Yum's Hylos, and they've got a lot of tools. So once GK kind of goes all in, the problem is if they don't catch anyone, can they get out? And sometimes you might see that Dark Knight Falls even be changed to more of a defensive use if they need it at some point.
And that's where so much of it is going to be who will pull the trigger first. And Stormy did such a good job in that last fight when GK was invading onto the purple buff. He holds on to the RWM. Dark Knight Fall went down first. Stormy moves around, finds a good position, and then after the fight's already been going on, he drops it.
Oh, here we go. Fight for the second turtle. Less than half health here. They're going to force it anyway. Innocent gets a solo kill. The turtle's going to be secured by Sakai's, but he might lose his life for it as Quanok picks up a kill. Looking for Cram. He's trying to get away, but there's just a whole lot of crowd control locking him down as Aizen will pick up for himself. So a bit of a trade across the map, but that's also a lot of gold and push now for Innocent on the Moskov.
Yeah, I don't think we expected things to go like this. It's 5-4 right now. GK holding a small, ever so slight gold lead. Still, the game is at a standstill, but every fight has gone back and forth. Neither team finding full leverage. Neither team really getting a full grip on this game. Geekay eSports, I'm wondering when is the time to really pop off? Yaga is going to get a couple more items, and I kind of want to see where he's building towards. Is it just full burst damage? Do we have the...
There's your Sky Piercer.
Sky Piercer. I was wondering if maybe we were going to see like a Blade of Heptasis, something of that nature, but no. Sky Piercer up front. Berserker Fury already in for Zeno. On the opposite side, Innocent having a great game. 3-0-0. He's already got 2 items in, looking for that third. We're talking about a possible 8-9 minute third item very early in this game as long as he keeps on this path.
Yeah, Innocent's going to be a problem for GK, and that's why, you know, at some point, Yaga's kind of, his game plan will be just to lock down Innocent, you know, try to go in. Of course, he's got the execute there to work with too, but, you know, that's the problem with the Hellcurt is you are very squishy, but that's, you know, the price you pay for this kind of kit and the ability to go ahead and darken the map. But now Aizen spotting things out. Even as the Uranus takes quite a bit of damage himself, GK wants to fight this. RWM already dropped down too. Dark Knight Falls to follow through. They're going to extend it further. And now here's the surprise as it comes on through as Quanok is gone. Wrath the Dryad won't be able to help save them as Shen falls next. Now Yaga, there's some low health bars here, but it's too much of a risk to follow through.
Patience is key in so many of these fights, and for a second, GK felt like they had the advantage there. Cram should be okay here. They wait for the RWM to come down, and that's after that comes down, Yaga drops the Dark Knight Falls. But what GK doesn't know is you've got Cram hiding out in this bush. Everyone's just waiting for the Dark Knight to end, and then they all re-engage and get the win out on that teamfight. SRG stealing away the lead.
Okay, fight. Last turtle here. Aizen jumping on forward. Sakai takes a ton of damage, but he's still going to be fine to be able to secure the turtle. Yum's left to his death as he goes down, but Cram looks to capitalize on a kill. An SOD won't connect though, so they fall. Aizen falls here. Dark Knight Falls once again. Cram will go down. Yaga able to pick up another here. Good push though down bot by SRG. Sakai goes in with the combo, gets his own revenge, taking out Yaga.
Zeno's not going to try to commit to it. Yaga goes down. I feel like at this point, though, Yaga can die. He's always going to pack a decent punch. He's going to have utility. When will that eventually fall off in the lack of a marksman, though?
Innocent going to try to get away. Still has a Purify. Should have room to work with. Picks up the DHS. He goes and tries to target Quanok. He knows the rest of the team might try to make their way here, but Yums is going to be too late. It's a shutdown. Quanok gets the kill on Innocent.
A beautiful shutdown at that, going into the hands of Quanok. After taking the 2 deaths, he's going to need some of that gold to kind of pillow some of the losses he's had. On the bot side, though, GK losing so many towers, already down to the inhibitor, top side as well. though GK's been doing well in some of these team fights, in terms of macro, they've been having a little bit of trouble, and I think that's the sacrifice that happens when you pick up this Hellcurt.
Yep.
And yes, you can use it as a split pusher sometimes, but they've been using it a lot more for these turtles, for these objectives, for these big fights. They haven't really been sending him off to the offlanes, and I'm wondering if there's going to be a point where they kind of change his game plan on what they want to use that hero for.
Oh, 100%, especially once we get to this Lord fight here in about 30 seconds. GK's done a good job at keeping Xeno, in that kind of groove of just on the ling, doing your thing, getting the jungle buffs and the camps that you need here. It's not like he's far behind or anything like that against Sakai's, but he needs to win that retribution battle if they're able to set up for that first Lord. That would give a big favor over to GK to work with. So right now it's just kind of maintaining the map. Cram will take a couple shots. Xeno and Shen are up on this top side. Sakai's going to go ahead and join this, and the rest of the team isn't far away as they try to hold on. 1 HP on that top turret, just barely away, but the Lord is up, so both teams will get centered around it.
Yeah, Yaga tried to make a quick play down to the boss side. I was wondering if he was going to hang out there before this Lord, maybe get something cheeky off. But right now, GK is trying to salvage towers. So much pressure on the top, so much pressure on the mid. And this is going to give SRG a chance for Sakai's to get this purple buff and then make his way down to the Lord pit. And just SRG overall securing a decent position on the map. A slow push at the bottom, but action in the mid.
They're going to go for it anyway. Aizen is gone in an instant. Tempest Blade's already used too. A disengage from GK. Even with the Dark Knight Falls, right now SRG still in a good position to transition from this point. Shen flickers forward with Wrath of Dryad, locks down Stormy. A decisive play. Cram there, couple punches on the tree will take him out. Shen's gone, Lord is up. Cram alone is zoning out the rest of GK with Yumes. They should be enough, but Xeno is up. He's gonna grab his purple and potentially try to steal the Lord here if he's able to. Half health on the Lord, they're gonna blitz it down. It looks like they give it up as SRG will take the Lord.
SRG with a very clean Lord take, and though GK is doing well at finding some responses here and there, Cram himself right now is just putting so much pressure on Yaga, so much pressure on Quinnock. Every time a fight starts, Cram finds a beautiful angle and just stops GK from what they want to do. In that last fight, Yaga was looking for an entry in, Cram was waiting for him. Got a couple quick punches off, and Yaga can't do anything. It completely nullifies the strategy that GK wants to bring to this fight.
Cram's basically like, you gotta go through me, if you want to get to the team. And even these off angles like this, he's a threat alone. Glorious Pathway to slow down a GK. They take down the tier 2 turret. Wrath the Dryad Shen just deleted again. Not tanky enough on this Belric pick. Lord charging in the bottom turret. Into the base, Sakai's goes. He does get away. Aizen jumping on forward. Might get locked down here, but the rest of the team will clear it out. Shields pop in mid and bot.
Oh my lord.
Again, Cram just showing the amount of damage he has, but can he go 1v3? He flickers defensively. Dark Knight Falls comes through. Yaga on the hunt. Not sure if he wants to follow this through. It's a bit of too much of a risk. He sees Sakai's though. He's gonna go for him. The pincers, they come through. And that was probably worth it for Yaga, but not for the team.
I mean, there's some value there. When you're getting pushed on, when you have a 4K deficit, a trade is a trade, especially if it's on the opponent's jungler. GK got the best that they could, honestly, out of that big defense. A little bit of action on the purple buff.
Whoa, Xeno, so close. Whoa! I'm not sure why he went there. Another SOD, here comes Innocent. The Spear of Malaysia again lands it. Finds Quinnock. Aizen's tanky enough, but the turret, it'll get shredded down a little bit further here. They don't have the waves pushing in up top just yet, so they'll clear him out. A big play from SRG off of the interesting decision there from GK.
Yeah, Zeno should not have gone for that. GK definitely choosing to pick fights at a lot of the wrong times. The fact that they were able to keep their inhibitors was good.
All right, they've only got a few guys left, but they're gonna lock it down. Shen trying to keep them at bay, clear out the minion waves. Top base turret's gonna go down here. Bottom one is left. They're gonna go focus on this next, but everyone from GK is up. They should be able to clear out the minions. That they do, and SRG has taken pretty much what they can for now.
Yeah, the fact that SRG still ended up getting those inhibitors is because of the huge mistakes done by GK. And SRG's been capitalizing on every single one. Fine, you want to come too deep? We got an answer for you. And that answer has been Cram. That answer has been Stormy and Innocent. When it's time for GK to run away, somebody always gets caught by the Spear of Destruction. Somebody always gets caught by the RWM. And this is what we were looking at from Stormy. This is what we were looking for, at least, to hold on to those RWMs and make sure the timings are correct. And instead of using it as a big team fight mechanic, he's using it as the net, right? He's using it as something.
Yaga. Oh, Dark Knight falls, but Innocent, he spots him out. It doesn't matter. Innocent picks up another, and the team fight is getting decimated in the jungle. Another SOD. He doesn't miss. And Zeno falls. Aizen could be next. Last one for GK. And they just get wiped off the face of the map with SRG.
They don't need a Lord. They got a wave of minions coming down the mid, a 7,000 gold lead, and death counter's too high.
Too high for GK. They're going to have to scrap this one up and go next because SRG came through in game 1 in this elimination match.
GK, this is another way to draft, and it looks very effective.
Yeah, it looks very cool.
I like
Hot.
it.
GK looked very cool and hot because of the
Cool
veneer.
and hot. Look at
Yeah,
that.
it's hot and cool, but
Well, what's going to be the cool hot pick from Innocent?
should be EXP. Should be EXP, right? If they don't want to put the Paquito against the Esmeralda in the lane.
They need someone to do with this Valir, so someone that can dive. Yuzong, a Lapu, Dyrov just to deal with the Esmeralda.
Oh, wow.
This is very interesting.
It's only been Falcon's PH using the Dyra. So
I think the last time...
I don't think it won either. It didn't, no.
The last time Krem used the Dyrov was MSC 25 during the group stage, and he won that one, but that was the only time he used in that competition, so...
Wow.
Quite a long time since he's used the Dyrov, especially here in International.
Who gets the edge from you guys? Quick thought.
This is... Okay.
GK sound very cool to look very cool to Moy.
I think GK is easier to execute.
All right, we'll see who executes here. SRG trying to go 2-0 and keep their tournament hopes alive to get back to the grand finals. If GK eSports lose, their key will be crushed. It's all on the line here in game 2 as we send it back over to Naisu and Trex.
The pressure is on as we jump into the land of Dawn. SRG 1 game away from securing a victory and moving forward. GK just trying to tie things up here. This is Trex and Naisu bringing you the live action in this game. How we feeling, Naisu?
Well, you know what? It's pressurous, Trex, because GK also already burning a flicker early on from Shen. We know how this mid lane goes. Obviously, as a glue, you can go ahead and heal some of this back up, but yeah, I think the pressure is there definitely at this point in the competition. GK is feeling it, but I like that they're still willing to bring something unique to the draft. Now, we saw that in the last one. You know, the Hellcurt kind of worked for a bit till it didn't. But now the Valir. Valir solves a lot of the points here that SRG brought to this draft, and I think them themselves bringing out the Dyroth, who, you know, as our panel, our studio mentioned, hasn't found the most success, but it still makes sense, especially against this matchup against Aizen with that Esmeralda. This is, you know, one of those picks that ends up working real well in terms of that matchup. But now, when it comes to the team fights, how can that help things out? He's really putting pressure there on Aizen, but, you know, first turtle is where we see just that threat.
Yeah, what's going to be big for Kram is keeping this pressure up, maybe securing a kill in this early phase. First, second turtle, going deathless, and making sure you get that scale on. Kram has to be careful on a hero like Dyroth. We've seen it before. If you start to take a death or two too early on, you fall off quickly, and at that point, you're just a useless hero.
Yep, little check here in the mid, but again, because of the nature of the compositions, you're not going to see too much action until the first objective comes up. It's really big for SRG to have that Fatal Links. They make an attempt here on Aizen, but again, as an Esmeralda, really difficult to take up on top. Kram, though, has level 4. Tempest Blade's already going to be used. Shen's low. Again, doesn't have the flicker, so he's got to go to the turret. It's Kram that does get punished. Aizen gets a double off of that.
Yeah, a little too deep for Kram there. We saw what he was going for. He even gets almost all of his health back, but then still taken out with just a massive burst of damage. And literally right after I say it, you don't want to take too many deaths early on. It happens. Luckily, it's flying clouds, so you're not going to lose too much from an early game death like this.
Yep, and SRG still has really good control of, you know, the map, the presence that they can give with this lineup, and as you mentioned, flying clouds. So even after that, they do end up getting the objective. They secure themselves the turtle. looking at the replay here brought to us by STC. Again, this was an attempt under the turret. Cram buys quite a bit of time here, but it's, again, Aizen's very patient. Mind you, on this Esmeralda, he's able to just kind of sweep in there, get that first blood, get that double kill, which will really help him now in this lane against Cram for now. So Cram might need this help just because of that 2-kill lead. So they're going to go for it. Aizen brought to half health, but popped the Purify.
They want that kill on Aizen so bad right now. In the past 3 minutes, they've gone up to that lane twice now just to put pressure down. Back on that replay, I gotta highlight Zeno real fast. The guy drops the Tempest of Blades. Instead of going for all the swords, he backs off for a second to sidestep the Dairoth ult, and then re-engages, hits 2 swords, gets a bunch of damage. Aizen gets the final blows, but Zeno definitely very mechanically gifted in that last team fight. Now, SRG's been making plays across the map. Up on the top side, Cram.
Oh, they're going for Cram. Now he picked up the blades there, Trex. He gets them this time. Good punish up top and a whole lot of gold going over.
I was just about to say how Geekay wasn't playing the off lanes too much, playing a bit more defensively against SRG, but now they're finally finding their movement across the map. Quinnock and Shen stuck down in this mid.
Fatal Links able to pick one. Shen very quick to take out here, and that's what you're going to expect. Every time that Fatal Links is up, maybe even the flicker for Yumes, he'll go make a play, and that's about what SRG can play around. As they were mentioning, throughout the draft, they got to build that lead over on this YSS for Sakai's. Now, bottom side, Yaga's going to be the focus, popping the Blaze and Duet. There's 3 SRG Giants here, though. Innocent will pick that one up, but Sakai's gets punished. Zeno able to find one. Flicker from Stormy. Safety to the turret, and now Innocent should be able to get away here. The ultimate's already popped. He had to pop the Flicker, though, and Yumes, he'll have to be there for safety, but this is going to be a turtle fought for GK.
Yeah, without that Flicker, Innocent may not be able to do much to help out. Zeno will get that turtle. Right now, both teams just looking for pick-off after pick-off.
Oh, Shen. All right. Shen's
gonna
fine.
be good?
Yeah, he's going to be
cool.
fine. He burned the battle spell again, though.
Yeah, so a lot of battle spells down for the side of GK. SRG, with only 2 kills in the map, still applying pressure, but GK with almost 2,000 gold lead, even after losing second turtle. It has dropped a little bit down to 1.4, but still the pressure is on. But this is similar to last game. SRG sometimes needs a little bit of time to get things going. They like to look for that 6-7 minute power spike. I'm also excited to see how Innocent plays in the Paquito. It's no longer Cram on it.
Yeah.
And it's so normal to see Innocent on these marksmen, right? On things like the Moskov, things that he can dance around. So seeing him on the Paquito this time, I'm excited to see if he's able to apply the same amount of pressure that Cram did last game.
Yeah, Cram was able to do it last game. I think so far, one of the best gold lane Paquitos we've seen. Hold on, Innocent, speaking of, okay, he gets away. Was from Siggy Boom, right? From Aurora Gaming. They really made that work perfectly. And so Innocent being up 2 kills, he's got that momentum going on the Paquito. That's going to be great for them, but they got to control the map here as that tier 1 down bot gets taken down by Zeno. This is what you expect of the Ling. He's going to continue to push the map. Quanok popping the Flicker himself. Some more action here in the mid. Whoa, Innocent got solo killed on the bottom side. Good play there from Zeno, man. Now picking up the Haas Claws off of it.
As Zeno has been on fire, even in the last game that they lost. Zeno still made some amazing plays. A couple bad ones too, but here in game number 2, he seems to have gotten some of the rest off. He's finding solo kills. He's able to lock down Honest Innocent on the top side.
Cram, not going to be able to escape this one. Yumes, too late to the party off that flying cloud. GK has found the footing in this one, Trex, for game 2. They've got a composition that's really hard to play against. SRG looking to lock down Shen, popping the Flicker. So he's still going to be fine. This last turtle's up, though, and right now GK will make their way for it. Conceal's already going to be used now from SRG to push them off the turtle. Looking for this engage. Stormy holding on here, too, up on that front side. They'll just face off for now, though, as buffs are going to be secured by Zeno.
Man, GK, like you said, just looking for plays all around the map, but here at the turtle, little action.
Oh, they're going to go for it. Again, the setup, Quanok gone so quickly. Yaga firing off the backside, though. It's a split fight now. Sakai's trying to get some work. He falls, and Zeno gets another kill. He'll heal back up with the Haas Claws. Rest of the team still going at it. Now Cram looking for Zeno. Can he catch him? He's quite slow, but he gets retried. So Zeno should be able to get away.
Zeno gets away to safety. More action on the mid side, though. Blazing Duet.
Blazing Duet already used here. Looking to take out another. Yumes falls, and GK further building the lead that they have. Forget the turtle, we'll take the bodies.
Giant after giant tumbles right now. It's 9-3, 5K gold lead, and Geekay are looking at securing another turtle to cement their advance in game number 2. Last time SRG was able to keep things at a minimum, but this time the Turnip is gone. They're bleeding out. Is there an opportunity? Innocent, we got to see something from him, but the problem is it's a tough game for a Paquito. You got the glue?
Aizen's there. Okay, he canceled the recall. He's there to go ahead and supplement Yaga here. Falling Star unused. Oh! Zeno under the turret. The rest of the team's going to get caught in the jungle. They'll fight. Geekay wants to take it to them as Sakai's falls. Cram trying to get away, but there's 4 members here, and Aizen leading the charge. Meanwhile, Zeno will push mid. Geekay eSports has total control right now.
All right. A little bit of a Fatal Links used on to Aizen there. Does pop the Purify, but at this point...
Popping that Purify.
Geekay.
Shout out to Leo.
Geekay. Shout out to Leo. Pop that Purify. Geekay making their way in. Making their way downtown. And it's not looking good for SRG. Like I said, Innocent's going to have a tough game, man.
I was about to... It went right
Wait for the Lord. Wait for the Lord.
Wait for the Lord.
So as I was saying, we wanted to see Innocent do great things, but you know, we can't count him out completely because the problem is this is a tough game for fighters. This is a tough game for the composition that SRG brought. The moment we kind of called it, we said, big chance YSS could come in and then they go for a double fighter-fighter. But the problem is before they even did that, they lock in the YSS and then the Quinnock comes in and we just know, ooh, this is going to be tough for a big fighter composition.
100%.
You see the Valier, you see the glue. Those are things that are just going to give Cram and Innocent a hard time in this game. And it doesn't give the space for Innocent. It doesn't give the space for Stormy. And at that point, how do you even counter this? And every time that someone's been on their own, Geekay has been all over the map. Zeno's been finding the 1v1s. And the rest of the team is finding pickoffs as well. So SRG's is getting slowly backed into this corner.
This has been amazing kind of recoup that Geekay has done in Game 2. I mean, they really had to go back to the drawing board after Game 1's win with SRG. Now for Game 2, this is a bigger lead than what SRG had in the previous one, and Geekay has total control. Now, if you're looking at this 9,000 gold behind, if you're SRG, you know, you're almost in that attempt where we just got to go for it because it continues to slip through. And even so, even being down this much, Geekay will still take things at ease. They'll slow it down. They need that purple buff for Zeno, and they'll just wait because if SRG overcommits into a fight, Trex, they could get destroyed really just because of the economic lead right now for Geekay.
I gotta say, this is something so many teams have really stepped up to the plate on in terms of this MSC. I haven't seen that many super big brawly matches. A lot of teams have been willing to take the Lord slow, been willing to dance a bit, play the macro game, even when they're 8,000 gold ahead, right? Yeah. They weren't trying to rush things. They know that at any point, SRG is still a threat. Sometimes a dog backed into the corner is even more dangerous than one that's on even footing right now.
Think about a giant backed in the corner.
Exactly. Geekay respects that. They know what they're dealing with, they know the enemy, and they know they have to approach this meticulously.
Right now, they'll have to do that on the defense. Once that Lord comes up, it's going to come down the mid. They still hold on to maintain their shields right now in the base, but those are definitely going to pop here, if not all 3. So they're going to have to hold this on. And, you know, when you look at this composition, you got to think, too, how good is that base defense with this kind of composition for SRG? And it might be okay, but it's not the best. You know, you have to expend a lot, so they go for a play anyway. This makes it better. They take out Yaga. And now Lord will charge in the mid. They're preoccupied here on the bottom side, though. Quinnock throwing out the fireballs to slow them down and burn them slowly. Lord finally goes down, but not before it takes out the mid-base turret. So Geekay, that might be all they get because they lost Yaga. Oh, the Flicker are going to be burned too. SRG, do they want to go for this fight? Quinnock taking a ton of damage. There's their Abyssal strike. Sakai's able to find them, but they get caught in the jungle again. They forgot about Zeno. They forgot about the rest of the members of Geekay. And they're still here now, focusing on the bottom base turret. They're going to lock down on Innocent with a 1-2 punch in the shields, but they get shredded through anyway as Geekay picks up another and a base turret.
Once Yums misses that Fatal Links, SRG had no reason being there, because now GK's at their base.
Oh, Stormy tried to clear it out, but not enough. GK will hold on to their hopes for MSC and take us to a Game 3.
It really is just the crowd control here, because the mid lane is also going to be pretty important. They pick up the Hilda here, which might be a bit dangerous, and now the Kimi. Okay, so now I see the idea from Selangor Giants, which is we have more muscle. We just charge forward and we just show that we have better mechanics and damage in the early game. But now you know that you're going up against Freya in the gold lane. That's going to be tricky. We'll see whether Selangor Giants will gank the gold lane a lot or try to help out the EXP. Either way, they have a side lane that wants to win that and destroy the turrets early. Selangor Giants, high risk, high reward kind of draft, but I would say it's much easier compared to game number 2.
All right, well, you heard it from the panel. I don't have to say much more. You know the stakes. A best of 3, now a best of 1. The winner moves on at MSC. The loser, their key is crushed. It's Geekay eSports and Selangor Red Giants ready to battle for one last time here in Paris, France. And let's send it over to your casters for Game 3, Naisu and Trex.
This is the final move in this game of chess between SRG and Geekay eSports. Let's jump into the land of Dawn as the pressure builds. Naisu, the final sub, the final drop. Uni comes in to try to make things work for Selangor Red Giants. Thoughts on this?
I don't know, man. I think everybody probably reacted the same way around the world watching this. When it comes down to that one game, you know, sometimes you have to take that chance. Sometimes you have to take that risk. As amazing of a player Sakai is, you bring in someone new into this lineup to make something happen when it comes down to one game. You can already see the aggression coming out from SRG just to take a camp. Quanok gonna deal with some damage sitting at half health. He's gonna be fine, but SRG more aggressive to start things out. Wow, flicker burn too. So it's still going for mid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not... Ooh, Uni actually able to still get that. The retry was a little early from Zeno, and he's able to get his own camp, but I'm not against completely the aggression that SRG is bringing. Sometimes in a game 3 like this, both teams take it slow, but SRG says, no, we're gonna hit the gas, we're gonna try to catch them off guard, and that is how they are playing this right now. The Kimi pick, another throwback to old metas along with this Hilda. And the pressure's on. I've been wondering when we're going to see the Hilda. I'm wondering if they're going to use it in your typical way of let's harass Zeno, let's harass this Ling, let's try to get in GK's face as much as possible.
I think especially if you're SRG here and you're trying to take something from the last game, it's, you know, how do you contain or at least get rid of Zeno? Because, you know, last game he was able to go ahead and scale up so well on the Ling. And, you know, the panel mentioned this, too. It was so interesting to know some of the facts between those top 2. I feel like they're the top 2 pick jungler heroes right now. That Hirata being at 70+%. You know, the Ling sub 50, I believe it is. But hold on, mid lane, there's some action. Yaga taken out of this. And they're able to go ahead and pick up a kill. It's a bit of a trade, but the objective for GK is the focus now for the first turtle. It's going to go over to them.
And so Innocent actually gets the solo kill onto Yaga. Down in bot lane. Stormy goes down in the mid side, so a trade for trade. Let's take a look at that replay down on the boss side. Yaga gets ganked by Yums and Innocent. So even with losing, very close call, but even with losing that, still it's 1-1. Turtle goes over to GK, small gold lead.
Yeah, small gold lead to work with either team. You know, they can't let this gold lead get out of hand once we get to that mid game. And you know, if you're looking for picks across the map, that might be some of the best cases that you can go for if you can't fight for the objectives yet. An early kill, too, going over to Innocent does help, of course, with that Brody. You know, you get the Blade of Hepsies locked in early. You can start to go ahead and build on that. It is going to be a bit of a difficult lane for him just because, again, you got Freya to work against. For Yaga, you know, he's running that Warcry emblem, so that's why you want that space to work with. That's why the hero that Brody helps really deal with that.
All right, so things have kind of slowed down after the initial few minutes of aggression, or maybe not just yet. A little bit of action in the mid. Everyone should back off. Nothing too crazy to happen, but no.
Oh, they're going to go for it anyway. Whoa, the beacon was gone, and Quanok next. Shen, the next to follow. Zeno's here, though. Tempest Blaze dropping down. Going to be looking for Cram or anyone he can find, and Zeno goes on through with the Tempest of Blades to pick up a kill for himself.
Zeno continues to be the bane of SRG right now. It's been, what, 3 games of Ling, and every game he seems to step it up a little bit more and more. And, you know, this was an amazing play. SRG backs off for a minute, but then they look for the re-engage right after the beacon's about to be done, and they're able to catch him. Luckily, Zeno finds a moment of saving grace, able to get the kill onto Cram.
Yeah.
So it's 2-2. Both teams continue to go blow for blow, and that's been the story these past 3 games.
So far, it's been such a interesting series for this one. You know, just from game 1 to game 2, how one-sided for each team it was, and now at this point, you know, relatively even as we get our way to the second turtle. And you have SRG trying to get this secured already, as Uni's going to go ahead and work on it. Meanwhile, mid lane, there's going to be a fight breaking out. Quanok already burned the beacon. Both gold laners going to make their way. Zeno goes in, but SRG will win the retry. But can they win the fight as Cram is taken out? GK might just be happy with 1 kill. Zeno going for more. Stormy will keep him at bay. Unless Uni wants to re-engage in the mid lane, goes in and gets the damage out. Yumes is there, but still not a follow-through to get GK down.
All right, so Hunter Strikes start to fall in maybe a little bit late for SRG. We just saw Uni get his. Cram gets his after death. Maybe just if they could have got that a bit sooner, we would have seen a little bit more damage, a little bit more possibilities. Luckily, SRG still gets the turtle in the midst of the chaos, but Cram now 0-2. In game number 1, this Paquito was the thing that brought them to victory.
Yep.
And with the start that it's GK's learned that, listen, we don't want to let that happen. We need to make sure we focus down, and Zeno is making a job of that. We do see the Sky Piercer lock in for Innocent. So he hasn't been able to get stacks off it just yet, but if more kills can start getting locked in for him, this Brody could start to become dangerous.
Yeah, they got to deal with this. Beacon used. Cram, next target, flickers defensively. Rest of the team trying to help him out, but Cram, nowhere to go. Another kill picked up, and Yumes, unfortunately, not able to help him stay alive. So GK, they'll continue to do this, Strex. Look for pickoffs, look to play around that beacon from Quanok, and it's working so well for them for now.
SRG, this game, not really waiting for the power spikes to hit. Yes, Cram got the Hunter Strike, but still, you can't just go in like that, especially when you are behind, especially with the composition that GK has. I think the goal should have been to wait just a little bit longer, maybe another minute or 2 to really start trying to make those plays happen, especially since he's already taken 2 deaths, and now it's 3 deaths. So hopefully Cram can kind of back off a little bit, slow it down, wait for your time to shine. It's what you did in game number 1, and it's what you're going to have to do in game number 3 to get this victory. GK, on the other hand, just need to keep capitalizing on these small mistakes.
This is one of the difficult things, though, to do, you know, when you are a Paquito that is, you know, you've died a few times, you're trying to figure out how do you bring that value to these team fights and, you know, turn the tides of them. And unfortunately, when you're down, it's a little bit harder to be able to do that when you have the lead. So now, some ultimates being thrown out here. Turtle's up, and you don't have a traction pulse now for Stormy. They could still fight even without it, but it's going to take some master fighting here from them to be able to pull this off. GK's really been playing around their ultimates really well, just like they are now. Yume's really low. Zeno waiting for that window of opportunity to jump in. Might just try to go and steal this turtle here. Goes in and makes it happen. And now Stormy on the run. The rest of GK just happy, staying disciplined, takes the objective, and goes elsewhere.
Even though it wasn't exactly straightforward, SRG backs off a bit during that turtle fight because they know Aizen is coming with that Throne of Ruin. And if they stayed for that turtle, getting caught by that would have been detrimental. Could have been an end game type of fight.
Oh no, they're gonna collapse down here. They're looking for a kill on Aizen, but he's able to get away. Now Zeno joining the fight in the mid, gonna go for Uni. Uni trying to use the iframes to get out Tempest of Blades too. He's on the run, and now mid lane, Cram finally will take one down, and they get a second as Shen falls. SRG finds some breathing room.
SRG right now is just the perfect example of punching your way through your problems. Even, I mean, seriously, they're behind. They
In
take that
MLBB.
fight. Exactly, they take that fight, and I'm like, guys, what are you doing? But somehow they just keep on hitting and hitting and hitting, and eventually they do come out on top. This fight didn't look good for them at first, but Innocent is now involved. They're a full 5-man, and that's what they needed to win. Back on the main screen, another fight, and they're coming out on top. They get the kill onto Yaga, and GK is finally getting pushed back.
Oh man, SRG off of one team fight somehow find a swing in their favor. They're now approaching these tier 2 turrets of GK. It all happened so fast too for GK to deal with, and now they're trying to scramble here. Shen, half health, he has to watch the tier 2 fall, and you got 19 seconds for that lore to come up.
All right. SRG now with a 2.5K gold lead. In just a matter of about 45 seconds, they have completely took this game into their hands, and it's looking reminiscent of game number 1. And Cram continues to show that on this Paquito, even with a death or 2 or 3, I can still pack a punch. And Innocent was the sleeper build all along, hanging out in the gold lane, and we were waiting for that moment for him to get involved in these fights, and now the damage is there as well. He's got the Sky Piercer, he's got two stacks on there, 2 kills worth of stacks on there. He's feeling himself right now, and SRG, this is going to continue to scale upwards and upwards.
Yeah, those stacks really are something to worry about. They're going to blitz this Lord, going for it. A Gleam comes through, Uni! SRG gets the Lord. They're going to be able to collapse down on the fight. A couple flickers on the defense from GK. Cram looking for the reinitiation. They're going on Shen. Shen has nowhere to go. Another stack for Innocent, and they find a double. Add another one to Innocent, Sky Piercer.
5-0-1 on Innocent. Shen sacrificed himself to make sure that Zeno can get the purple buff, but the fact that Quinnock falls after that might be a little bit too much for GK to hold on to. It's a 5K gold lead, and a Lord is coming soon.
Oh, this was worked so well. Again, they blitzed it. They tried to go in for an attempt. They're knocking on the base turrets now, too. Back in the live cam. Traction pulse already thrown out, sending GK back to heal up. They're going to defend this Lord push. SRG with a swing in their favor. Uni jumps in, bringing down half health bars for GK. They're going to collapse down anyway. Cram's in the base, punching, looking for Yaga.
Innocent.
Finds him as well. Takes out Aizen. SRG, they brought out a new Titan. No, a new giant to the